Bienvenue sur la chaîne YouTube Arkham Chronicle. Someone turn him off and on again. Today we have gone all continental as we will be telling you about something so amazing it transcends languages. Many of us have been stuck on what to buy on birthdays and holidays for the Arkham horror player that appears to have everything. Once we've hoovered up all the fancy tokens this game has to offer, it's easy to run out of ideas. Well, consider doing what your parents did back in the day and give the gift of a book. That Lovecraft fellow was reasonably prolific, so there are plenty of sizes to choose from a handful of stories to the complete works. And because they are in the public domain, the world at large is determined to profit from his estate, so you could pick up something dirt cheap. But this also means everything is available for free on the internet, rendering the idea of a book a little redundant. Unless, of course, you go back to your childhood when books had pictures in. And did you notice books were bigger back then? Well, mostly. No, it's not just you were smaller, don't be silly. In 2017, hardback books were a barely respectable size. By 2018, they'd almost disappeared altogether. Presenting Les Montagnes Hallucinées illustré. The hallucinated mountains illustrated, or so Google Translate says. We were rather hoping this is H.P. Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness. Bear with us, Francophobes! The first thing to note is the size. It is huge, at just shy of 14 inches by 10.5 inches and half an inch thick. Not so much a coffee table book as a banqueting hall book, which, whilst great for the illustré, may be a little impractical for your domesticated bookshelf. The book is wrapped in a semi-gloss dust jacket with separate illustrations on front and rear, giving you a sneak peek into the art style within. The title text on the front and spine is a UV spot gloss, giving it a highly reflective quality. The rest of the description and barcode on the rear is traditional flat white. This is really effective and, coupled with the size, definitely makes it feel like a luxury product. But notice the tiny Tome 1 subtitle. To make this project even more decadent, they have split it into two. But why? As they managed to cram all of Call of Cthulhu into a single volume? Well, At the Mountains of Madness is Lovecraft's third longest work, and almost 4 times as long as the Call of Cthulhu. So rather than skimp on the art to cram in more text, or club your wallet unconscious with something double the price, they're releasing this in 2 parts. At least we hope it is. Je ne parle pas français. There is no sign of a second volume, so this may leave you with a gaping hole, like the book's protagonist in fact, for months or heaven forbid years. But Lovecraft is currently popular, with Nicolas Cage making a full-length film and even the Game of Thrones maestros getting in on the act. And this book is released by French publisher Bragelonne, who are well known for translating famous English-speaking authors and gaming books like Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering. They are also no strangers to Lovecraft, with possibly a full complement of his works en français, and feature articles too. This is their second epic illustrated tome as well, so fingers crossed we are in safe hands. Removing the dust jacket reveals a matte black cover that actually has an illustration monochrome printed on it. This partially wraps round to the back. The front and spine have some attractive hot foil stamping. Unusually, the front doesn't bear the title of the work, only The Stories of Howard Phillips Lovecraft, with illustrations by François Baranger. More about him later. Another unusual detail is the fact the spine text in France appears to go from bottom to top, whereas in English it reads from top to bottom. You learn something new every day, eh? The silver lettering looks wonderful, providing you don't look too close however, as there is a definite bleed, especially around the larger capitals. And the wax paper cover is a magnet for scuffs and fingerprints, so make sure you look after this and keep the dust jacket on. Finally, it is time to open it up, revealing a matte black end paper, which is actually printed black, so when you turn it over it reveals a natural buff colour in the reverse. And it looks like someone has blown their nose on our copy, so nice! But panic not! These flyleaves are actually printed in the style of a handmade paper, so these stains and other imperfections are repeated across the blank pages. Either that or someone has a very symmetrical cold. The first text we encounter is an introduction by Maxime Chadam, a French crime author whose works have been translated into 20 languages, selling more than 7 million books in France alone. Next is a repeat of the cover block, giving Lovecraft pride of place once more. And you get your first look at the stitching, as this product is case-bound, meaning that the pages have been sewn in. Groups of folded pages called signatures are stitched together in a process called smith sewing, and these signatures are glued into the binding to make a durable and long-lasting fastening. Plus, it also means that it can open fully and lay flat on your lap or a table without any damage to the spine, although you will need to apply some pressure in order to encourage the new binding to relax. Then a more traditional title page and the credits too, listing other works illustrated by François Baranger and other books in this imprint. Even noted Lovecraft scholar S.T. Joshi makes an appearance. You can also see a little history of the work, which was first written in 1931 but didn't find a publisher until 1936, when Amazing Stories picked it up and serialized it over 3 issues, which, if you have them tucked away in your attic, you may get some return on. This translation from Arnaud Damagde, who seems to be their premier Lovecraft translator, is from 2015, and these all-new illustrations were created in 2019 for the book's publication in October 2019. Sadly, there is no page ribbon. Clearly the French are such hardened bibliophiles that they can read more than 20,000 words in one sitting. But the book does appear to keep its original chapter structures as divided into 12 parts, with this volume breaking at the end of chapter 5. Other than the end papers, everything is a gloss finish, which is definitely the best thing for an artwork like this one. But it will retain the oils from your fingers, so make sure your hands are clean or handle it sparingly. Every double page is one fully painted colour illustration, with the text overprinted in either white or black. Generally, the pictures are composed to leave an appropriate amount of blank space to accommodate some larger blocks. But where light and dark are juxtaposed, the graphic designers have had to choose whether the black or white offers best contrast. With the majority of colours being black and white, coupled with the snowy vistas, it really evokes the cold and isolation of the Antarctic setting. And a great depiction of the Aurora Australis, the southern lights, anchors you to this otherworldly place. Again, the size of the book plays a major role in the effectiveness of scale, delivering cyclopean vistas and the tiny figures to measure their vastness against. A style illustrator François Baranger has some experience with. After the conclusion of part 1, we have some aesthetic-looking bibliographies of Lovecraft and Baranger, who is primarily known as a concept artist for movies and video games, including Harry Potter, and cinematic extravaganza G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, as well as directing his own short film and providing cover art for several books. You can find him on all the regular websites, although his own is down at the moment. He is active on social media and has both a personal Facebook and one dedicated to these new Lovecraft tomes, where you can see work in progress and a video of him painting, which is great for any budding artists out there. And for anyone interested in prints, he sells them on the popular website French Paper Art Club. The last word is reserved for Baranger's thank yous. And then we say goodbye with a mighty crack of the spine, to wait however long it takes to discover the fate of Professors Lake and Danforth.